YEEEAAH Network.
Guys, good morning. We are here in this lovely place in East London with an amazing artist coming from Nigeria. Very unique, very alternative, and coming with his own sound. This is Godwin. Hey.
Thank you very much.
How you doing?
Doing good. And you? How are you
good,
doing?
thank you. Happy to have you here on YEEEAAH Network.
Happy to be here as well.
Okay, so we all know that you was at the Young Music Boss Awards last night. How are you feeling about
It was a good experience. Since we've been in London, we've just been doing work.
Right.
So it was like an escape from work. So
Yeah.
I really enjoyed yesterday as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They said that you also had a taste of our cuisine as well. You went to Duck and Waffle. You was
Oh
enjoying
yeah,
it?
duck and waffles was beautiful. I like duck normally, so it was.
You like duck?
Yeah. It was just normal.
I'm a big on duck as well.
Yeah?
Aromatic ducks.
I don't
The
know
Chinese
the
one?
difference. Just, if it's duck.
Okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool. So you're here with us in the UK,
Yeah.
just enjoying some time. Tell us what made you come on down here today?
It's we're supposed to have a meeting with our label. Supposed to have a meeting with our label down here in the UK, and it was just a good opportunity to build a working relationship with those people. Because prior to a few weeks ago, they didn't know, there was no relationship at all. So it was just really nice to finally meet the people that are going to be working actively on the project. So that is the main reason, but also there was a second reason, which is to promote my new EP, Road To Nirvana, which was just out recently. So I'm really happy to be here.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Well, we're about to get into that so we can get to know more. But as well, I want to get into understanding that you're an artist from Nigeria, and of course we hear a lot of things that people are from Lagos, Port Harcourt, but you're from Kaduna.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did I say it right?
You said it right.
I said it right?
Yeah.
Tell us, what was life like back then growing up and stuff like that? And when was the point that you got inspired to do music?
To be honest, growing up in Kaduna is it's really the core of why I'm involved in art at the level that I am. Compared to maybe the other popular places in Nigeria, Kaduna is a pretty chilled city. Everybody minds their business. It's very big, but it's very chilled. And maybe to some extent, you can be doing stuff and nobody, kind of like chastise you or disturb you about it. So my first introduction to art was filmmaking with my brothers. We started making films together. And then, far before we even knew there was a world called the art world or whatever, we just really wanted to make films. And in the background, I've always been in love with music because growing up, my dad exposed me to a lot of records. He collected a lot of music, and I listened to those songs a lot. And something inside of me has always just been drawn to music, with the choir, with just church in general, and 2019 just felt like the right time to make a project, and I decided I was going to. So really, that's it. Kaduna is really, it's a very chilled place. That's the best word to describe the city.
Okay,
Yeah.
so your background also being involved with film, and so that's really like a different twist to your upbringing. Does that have an impact in how you create your work and your visuals?
My background in film it does have an impact in how I approach other art forms, but music in particular, now more than ever, I feel like when I make music, it's as visual and as sonical. It's equally as visual and as it's sonical, because I see the music and I write what I see, so it's more like storytelling in the bass, like what writers do, what filmmakers do. I do that in the bass and I make music from it. So it's really just, it feels like one form of art at the end of the day. It just feels like I'm doing one thing, whether I'm doing film or music.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So can you share with us as well, you have an inspirations of Aretha Franklin and also P Squared as well.
Yeah.
Tell us about that, how that impacts your sound.
My inspirations, to be honest, I would blame is a wrong word, but I would put it on my dad because he consumed a lot of music,
Okay.
and that kind of rubbed off on me. I was 9 or 7, something young, and I was already listening to Aretha Franklin in the house because he's always putting it on, the speakers, and I was singing along to it, and I think unconsciously that did something to my voice, and Labi Sifre, I was exposed to his music, which is a UK
Right.
fantastic songwriter at a very young age. But as well, I had a good balance of it because if you catch me on a normal day, I'm listening to Nigerian music. But there's always a balance where if I want to listen to a particular thing, it doesn't feel foreign to me because I have background, actually growing up and listening to it. So all of these people really do have they have various ways that they've inspired my art as a whole. Yeah.
Okay. And we see that also that sparked a lot of resonance with your audience as well, because you amassed over 3 million TikTok views for
Yeah.
your covers online. Was you kind of expecting that to happen? Or, because I know that a lot of artists will be like, oh, they had to go into TikTok and stuff like that. Did you feel like you needed to utilize TikTok to get yourself out there, or was it just a form of expression for you?
Well, definitely, I felt like I had to utilize it because it's a tool at the end of the day. The thing is, with me, I'm always very realistic and strategic with what I try to do. And if it feels right, I go for it. With TikTok, it just kind of happened, and it was shocking because you sleep and you wake up and there's 10 million views on a video that I shot, somewhere in the corner of my room. So it was shocking, like it will be for any human being. But it's something that I'm learning to adapt to, and just trying to see what made it work and what can make it work in the future. But it's an interesting time to be a creator as a whole, because you can reach a crazy audience,
Yeah.
you know, that people. It's crazy because 10,000 people is a lot of people, but maybe when you
Yeah.
see it on the phone, it's like 10,000 likes. You kind of look down on that, the fact that that's a lot of people seeing your stuff. So yeah, it's just an interesting time to be alive and
So was you
create.
interested in trying to do a dance? Was there a point where he was like,
No,
this music is not working, let me
no.
do a dance
If
choreography
I if it
to get
never
myself out there?
if it never worked
you
with the
know?
singing,
Did you ever do Tyler's Water?
no, I didn't. But yeah, it's interesting that I didn't have to dance to get to an audience. I'm so happy and proud about that fact because who knows, maybe I would have danced. But now it gives me hope that
What if all
I don't
goes
have
wrong?
to.
You'll just
Yeah,
dance.
I just dance.
Okay, cool, cool. So, of course, what was the turning point for you? Because, of course, everybody has that thing in their journey where they have a passion for music, but they think it might not work. But then there's this turning point of, change of fate. If you can take us back to that moment, what happened?
I remember what this point will be for me clearly. The thing is, there about 2023, we had a we had an invitation to do an exhibition in Frankfurt,
Right?
Germany, and this exhibition was going to be about restitution and the artifacts that were stolen from various African countries. And it was just a very important topic to my brothers and I. And I remember when we arrived at the museum and we were starting to work on the project, we got an invite from my brother. He's like an older brother to me now. But prior to that meeting, we didn't know anything about each other because before that we just met on the street. He was driving and he saw the museum director and happened to know her. But when we came back for the actual stuff, we were working on the exhibition. It was going really well. But the thing about Germany, if you've not been there, is it gets really cold. The people are cold as well.
I've been to Trondheim before,
Yeah?
so I can imagine
I
it
don't
can be
know
quite.
Trondheim.
Oh, it's just Stockholm,
Yeah,
Sweden. So it's
okay.
probably, I don't know, just similar.
But yeah, compared to where I come from, where you can start a random conversation with a stranger in a bus. In Germany, everybody just minds their business. So it's new for me, and it was
Okay.
like 3 months of work. So we got talking with Mengi, who is currently my brother, partner, manager. And it just happened that I had released the music and I played it for him, and he connected to the music in a certain way that was very personal. and that was the point where everything changed in terms of music, because prior to that I was just doing it to fulfill a personal obligation. It felt like an obligation.
Yeah.
So I would pinpoint that moment to be a moment where everything snapped and just changed for good. Yep.
Okay, that's really, really awesome. Um, so what happened when you got signed to Sony? What was the next steps that took you there? And
Yep.
yeah, got you signed.
It's nice because what we did was we re-released the EP.
Okay.
Yeah, and in a better and a more, because when I released it at first, like I said, it felt like an obligation, and I just really wanted to do it. And I really did not pay attention to how I felt about particular things.
Right.
I made a video for every song, but there was a song missing. There were just little things, and then signing with Sony and having a conversation with the beautiful team, it just felt like, oh, we get a chance to do it properly,
Right.
to put the project how you envisioned it. So, and it was something that I've always had at the back of my mind. So we did that, and currently promo is still running for the project. It's the feedback has been amazing. Um, and it's only gonna be up from here. Yeah, just very hopeful, but also very conscious of like what we have and what we are building. It's going to be beautiful. That's what I can say. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're going to start talking about your forthcoming EP, Road to Nirvana.
Yeah.
That Nirvana has a very nostalgic, very Western usage, especially with very legacy acts. What's his name? But I want to know, what does the Road Nirvana mean to you?
The word Nirvana was alien to me until 2020. I was randomly listening to a song. It's a beautiful song by an artist called Jacob Banks. It's called Slow Up. And on the radio, whatever it was playing on, he said a line that was very captivating. He said, "What I've learned from a traveler,
Right.
there's no road that can lead you to Nirvana." And that was really interesting because the words just, when you listen to something, it just glues, a particular part of it
Right.
glues, and then that was it. And that was a period where I was going through a lot of grief because I had lost my mom
Yeah.
a few years before, and it was just like I did a research on what the word was, and it just felt like something very celestial, felt like heaven. And I thought about the fact that at the end of the day, as humans, every single thing we do, all the journey we take on, every single project we approach, it feels like a journey to a certain place, which is Nirvana. And I wanted to put in perspective my grief, and in the sense that the grief is a journey to a particular place. So the whole project was really just birthed about like out of that whole concept of approaching somewhere where there's no longer pain. There's just happiness and no sadness, and it's just really that was the inspiration for everything.
What inspired you to push through that grief to still keep creating the project?
I think the obligation to make the project was the push that I needed. It just felt like something I had to do, no matter how sad I was. So I was also directing a film that would currently be the biggest film I have directed yet. It was
Oh,
a
wow.
collaboration with the Morgan Freeman's production company. And while that was happening, that was also when I was working on the EP. That was about 2020, 2021, thereabout. So yeah, it was an intense desire to create something. And it just also made me realize that, beautiful things could be birthed out of grief if you let them. So it was an interesting moment as well. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So let's just talk about some of the songs that's going to be on the EP. So now, it shares it unfolds as a reflection on the dance between life and death, compelling us to embrace and express wholeheartedly during our time on this earth.
Yeah.
That's deep
Yeah.
and it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Take us through that process of that song. Was that connected to the passing of your mother as well?
Yeah, Now is a special song because it's the most different song on the album, or the EP, sorry. The the EP was really inspired by a certain, it's kind of like a balladish mood with just a simple piano. But with now, I really wanted to make something of a sort of an irony where I have people dance to a sad song. That was really the aim. And I picked a particular inspiration from a genre called high life music, which is, as you see, in
Hey.
Ghana and, the eastern
I'm
part of
loving that our
Nigeria.
people being the album, so
Yeah,
we're featuring guys.
yeah.
Ghana represent.
So it's high life music is something also I owe to my dad. He exposed me to it at a young age.
Yeah.
So it was the reference for what the track was gonna feel like, and it was inspired by my friend's passing,
Oh.
a friend from school. Prior to his passing, we used to stay in the same place, but I never got to visit him because of one thing or the other, and I got news that he passed away. So it was just kind of interesting that I was feeling sad or I was feeling guilty, and I sang the song as a, what's the best word to use, like a diss to myself.
Okay.
Don't give me love when I'm gone, I'm not gonna need it. Don't give me love when I'm dead, I'm not gonna feel it. Give me now or hold it to yourself. And it's also reflections to like what happened when my mom passed away, where there's a lot of family and people I've not seen in a million years coming over. So it's really just a song about giving people their flowers when they can collect them in person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like, as well as it being very honest and reflective and deep, you also have this point of resilience.
Yeah.
I guess some personal triumph. It comes with your song "Proud of You,"
Yeah.
as well, and coming from the place where it stands as an anthem to human resilience, a testament to an indom. Who used this word? This is the biggest word I've ever seen. Indomitable. Indomitable.
Yeah.
Indomitable. You wrote this,
Yeah.
right? Indomitable spirit that persists against life's adversities. That's powerful. That sounds like scripture. That sounds like scripture. So, I don't know, is this the beginning of, I don't even want to give it away, but is that like the rounding, like the 360 of the journey of the EP as well?
Yeah, I think it gives a peek to like the space I was at the point. Proud of You is a very special song because like I said, the EP was really inspired by my mom, and I wrote the song from her perspective in the sense that I imagine her singing it to me. So when you listen to Proud of You, it feels like somebody's saying it to Godwin, that Godwin, I'm proud of you, and that's like my mom's perspective because I think she passed away before the good things were happening, and she's always been a big supporter of my art. So it was just very interesting that she was not there to see it in person. So that was why I wrote Proud of You. So it was I think it's more like a peek to the greener pastures where I'm no longer a sad boy
Oh, okay.
compared to the other songs. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I saw some of your clips as well, like on TikTok and stuff like that. And the covers, you use a lot of live instrumentation, of course, pianos, heavier things, and it's not usually or typically seen from African artists. So everything's very mid to up tempo, Afro beats, Afro pop. But you're going in a very alternative sound, very rich, ethereal, ballady almost. I've been waiting for the era of ballads because I think all the worship songs that we be doing, those big powerful ones. God is good, and you have all the instrumentation. I was like, someone has yet to release a ballad. We need our African Celine Dion. Where is it coming from? But anyway, your sound is definitely different from the scope of what to expect from African artists. Tell us, what made you want to go down that route? And again, your inspirations, how did that help you to shape that direction? Not to say that, again, anything is bad, but it's obvious that you stand out for good reasons. Talk to us about it.
I mean, firstly, the question is very reoccurring, and I think the answer that I came up with was the fact that I think at the end of the day, the goal is to make good music. I think that's my goal when I go into any studio, that the music is good, that whoever listens to it enjoys it.
Okay,
And
so let's rephrase it then. So,
yeah,
okay, but against the the
the
Burner
norm.
Boys and things like that,
Yeah,
you are doing something that's really different.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Of course, it's good music. It's like, oh, it's just good music. So, okay, so how does it feel to do music that is not the norm? Let's just say that.
Oh, I think it feels good. It feels great. Um, But what I was trying to reference was the fact that because of how much music I consume a lot of African music as well. Especially now, it's like, everywhere. It's a good time to be African.
Right.
And if you listen to my music, you hear how much that also inspires my music. So my music is it's really just a merge of everything that I have, listened to growing up. A quick example is my process is I feel like every good song starts, any, you know, good song that sounds good on the piano can sound good in any, kind of like environment you put it.
Right.
Be it with techno, afrobeats, whatever. So for me, the beginning process is that I'm able to write something that I resonate with on the piano. It's always my process. Every single song that I've made kind of started out in the piano in the back of my room somewhere. So it's really just the core to look at it and say, oh, okay, this particular song needs drums, and I put it in. So I'm really, in a sense, I'm never really closed by the amount of ideas I approach. Like I said, I made a high life music because it felt
Yeah.
right to do that. I might make an Afrobeat music tomorrow because it feels right to do it. So whatever feels right for the song is really just what I want to do. And in the nearest future, I hope when people hear Godwin, they think about, oh, what is Godwin going to do in this song? Rather than already imagine what I'm going to do
Right.
from the thought of my name. Yeah, so, yeah, I don't know, maybe I didn't answer your question. I just went like, but yeah,
I think it's because it shows clearly that it's something you enjoy doing.
yeah,
You know, it's a sound that
yeah,
you love doing, and it's organic to you.
yeah.
Okay, so let's ask this: how important do you think it is to show this kind of diversity in music from African artists?
Oh, I think now more than ever it's very important because as much as we are getting a lot of opportunities to shine, it feels like our abilities are constantly being boxed into certain categories. And you go back to Nigeria, for instance, there are people making lots of interesting music. And if you look at it from the classification of genres, it's such a wild thing. Like there's so much to eat from. There's Fuji music, there's Afro funk, there's beautiful, Afro Adura. There's just a lot of things to actually take from. And it's just a beautiful time that I get to also put my, you know, perspective into this big journey. But yeah, I think it's a great time. It's going to be a great future. A great future is ahead. And I hope more African artists learn to understand that they can be diverse in their art and not see it from a particular one piece or one perspective for the rest of their careers. So yeah.
So, in saying that, would you say that when like Wizkid took to social media some weeks back saying that he's not Afrobeats, and it sounded like he was also talking about his expression, to just not be boxed. I'm not Afrobeats anything and stuff like that. I don't know. What do you feel like is your take on that? And again, how artists are usually boxed in. Like, have you ever felt that pressure to do what people think they want you to do? Or?
To start with the last question, I have never felt the pressure to do that. And I feel like from the perspective of the artist, I feel like if you say you're not a certain category of music, let your music reflect that, let people hear it and hear something different. And that's really what I'm saying about the freedom to create. I hope more African artists in the nearest future are able to embrace the fact that the world is open to so much, forms of art, and they just need to accept that freedom to create and not see art from a particular perspective. But I think it's also the duty of the artist that if you are, you know, not something, you should show it with the music, because at the end of the day, the music will speak for itself. If people hear Afrobeats in the music, it's because they heard Afrobeats in the music. So at the end of the day, just do what you think you are and let people, say what they need to say, I think, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, before we round up, we're gonna have some quick fire questions.
Okay.
So you gotta kind of be in it.
Straight to the point.
Straight to the point. Straight to the matter.
All right.
Who has the best food, Nigeria or England?
Nigeria. Nigeria.
What's your favorite food in
Oh, all right.
Nigeria?
Rice, beans, stew, and goat meat.
Rice, beans, stew, and goat
Yeah,
meat.
that's an elite combination.
Okay, if there's any artist you could collaborate with today, dead or alive, who would it be?
Labyrinth.
Labyrinth.
Yeah, the UK musician. I love Labyrinth's music, especially for the fact that he's a black artist that is not mentally confined to do things a certain way. He's such a genius. I love his music, just for short. Yeah.
If you have to perform one night, what would you prefer to perform to? A crowd of millions or a crowd of one?
A crowd of millions. Yeah.
Why?
I love attention. But yeah, it just feels more right. I like performing. It's my favorite part of music as a whole. I can perform for the rest of my life and probably not feel it. It's something I really enjoy doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you had to create a super group with you in it and add two more, who would it be?
Maybe two more of me.
Two more of you?
Yeah. That would be such an elite group. Would
No one
conquer.
else.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Okay. If you had to identify your superpower, what would it be?
Ooh. Maybe I would be telepathic. Is that how you say it?
Telepathic.
Yeah.
So you read people's minds?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I think I can do that already without even powers. So it'd be nice if I just had powers and like, this is what you're thinking. This is what you're thinking.
You wanna try it now? What am I thinking?
It's not working. I'm on the spot. It's not working. I think you're changing your thoughts.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I actually was thinking I'm hungry.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that. Like you just want this to be done and go eat something like that. Yeah.
One more. If there was one song you could listen to for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, La Vie Cifre, my song.
Okay.
I love that song. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
That's it. Okay. Well, thank you for being here with
Thank you
us
for
on your
having me.
network. We appreciate you.
Thank you
And we
very
can't
much.
wait to hear your EP and the music that you're bringing. It's so amazing. Guys, do make sure you check him out and make sure to subscribe, comment, and like. Bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah, Network.